Hey Jay, we had it scheduled for 9:45. Desiree Lewis.
Hmm?
Desiree Lewis.
Oh.
Jay Baker.
Hey, how you
Says we got 4
doing?
people in here now. Hey Chuck, how you doing? Hey John, we're a little early. We won't go up to 9:45. We had to go to town and get some shavings. I gotta say I'm gonna have pigs tonight probably. Hey Travis, how you doing? And of course we had another storm. I guess it's all from this tropical storm or hurricane that hit.
Minden Hills Homestead.
Hey Minden Hills, they're new.
Yeah.
Minden, tell everybody about yourself. We tried to do a little team building fellowship thing, trade some knowledge around, let everybody get to know everybody.
Miss Kincaid.
Hey,
Andy B.
hey Andy. We're in North Carolina too, Andy.
We're at North Carolina.
Ken K Farm, tell everybody about yourself. They're kind of new, and they could use a little. He could use a little help, if you understand what I'm saying.
Oh, you got the ad set up. Good.
You got what?
There was an ad.
Oh, there's ads on everything now. We're on just about the other end of the state from you, Andy.
What is wrong with him?
Mike, tell everybody about what you got going on.
Hmm. Oh no.
Well, Chuck, tell everybody about your outfit. Yeah, Mike, hey, Geeky. That spotted sow, gilt. That spotted gilt.
Mine stopped.
Oh, yeah, Jay. You got your grinder. That make all the difference in the world. Ain't no doubt about that.
Hmm.
As long as you can get something to feed it. Remember, you make all our feed out of corn, wheat, rye, sorghum, any kind of grain you can get to put in it. There's a recipe.
Hey, Geeky. Ontario.
Well, I'm excited you're getting pigs tomorrow, too. What kind of pigs you getting, Ben Hills?
What did you call?
Midden Hills?
He's not paying any mind.
Small family farm, 90 years. We need more of those. We need more small family farmers that are still in the family.
Tamsworth.
There ain't nothing wrong with Tansworth, Midden Hills. I used to raise full-blooded ones. Hey, Thrifty.
Thrifty.
I wonder how come Mike ain't telling everybody. Mike, listen to me. Introduce yourself, but everybody, oh, I understand, Mike. We'll be up for an hour. You can do it later. In fact, the litter pigs out on the ground now. Well, she'll help you while she's pregnant, Jay. You're doing good.
There's Brian Jones.
Hey, Brian. Darlene has to help me a lot, too. You know, the bad thing about a family farm, it's a family endeavor. Yeah, I've got a litter of half Tamsworth, half Durocs right now. Tamsworth border, Duroc south. And we're fixing to have a litter off of about 5-way cross sow with a full-blooded Duroc. I'm really interested to see what they look like. But I have people ask me all the time how you get pigs that are so messed up. That's easy. Bred a crossbred boar to a crossbred sow, and then keep some gilts and breed them to a crossbred boar, you can end up with some pigs that are crossed up everywhere from Sunday. But they really do the best. The best meat pigs I got are 5-way crosses. We hauled the pigs to the butcher Wednesday. Got to go pick them up in the morning. So who knows where the best deals are at on 200 quart coolers? Hey, Patch of Heaven. We bought 220 quart ones today from Walmart for $70 a piece. I thought that was a pretty good price. But I can't afford $400 or $500. Oh yeah, Travis, we're gonna do a video on that tomorrow probably. The watermelons are looking good. All my pumpkins came up. At least enough of them came up. I have a bad habit of yeah, and I thought that was a really good price, $70 for, and they're Coleman's. I mean, they're pretty decent looking coolers. And you know, we got the pigs sold, so you know, we just had to figure them into the loss on the. No, I did not. Old red tractors.
What, are they keeping the coolers?
No, they ain't keeping the coolers.
Oh.
We seen him, but you know how it is. You just can't see him when you got the gun in your hand. I actually toted my pistol the other day while we were planting those pumpkins. I thought I might see him, but then I realized I wouldn't ever hit him. If I hit him, it'd just be his bad luck.
Something has got hold of his tail. He's hurt his tail or something. He's got this long black.
Hey, Thomas.
I don't know if it's rot or burnt or something.
He looks like a chupacabra.
And
he's blonde.
That's what he keeps calling him, a chupacabra.
He's scary at night.
He's got this great big head and little skinny body. I mean, you can tell he's sick.
That's something else. The only problem, Thomas, is I got to have him tomorrow. Well, how you been doing, Thomas?
Hertford. Pigs.
A little bit, John. They're just a mixed up durock. They're like a Santa Gertrudis cow. They're just a crossbred that somebody's crossed to us a breed. I don't think there's nothing wrong with them. I think they're a durock Chester White cross. Might be a little something else in them. But my pigs are durock with a little Chester White in them. I just don't like that white head. Well, old Red, as long as he leaves my chickens alone and don't mess with my piglets, I ain't gonna try too hard.
Oh man.
The damage, yeah, I'm worried about the piglets, but the damage is done. Chickens are gone. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Ben. That did happen, and we'd be millionaires if we'd have videotaped them pigs. But
oh, when I got them drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear the bell, Travis? Y'all pray for Thomas. There you go, Mike. Y'all show him some support. He's having a tough time.
Come here.
He's having the same problem I had when I started out, where everybody's bad mouthing him and running him in the ground, telling me he don't know what he's doing, and he's doing his best he can. Y'all go show him a little support.
Okay.
Help him out a little bit. He's got a 1950s era, 40s or 50s era hog barn that's in disrepair, and he's doing everything he can do to fix it up. And he's got some pretty decent looking pigs. They're kind of mixed up. They're pretty good looking old timey pigs. And there's Warren. Say hello to Warren.
Hey, Warren.
Yeah, Red Tractors, we got a bunch of rain.
Huh. We're dog poor.
Yeah, Andy, people around here run them Great Pyrenees. We don't seem to, they don't do like they say they do. I'm sure there's some that do, but.
Now, I've always wanted a Great Dane, but a Great Pyrenees is.
Hey, B-Bird. It's like a donkey, Andy. Around here, you put a donkey in with your goats, nobody don't do it right. That's something we'll talk about right quick. Donkeys don't protect the goats or the cows. They protect their Jenny. So if you put a jack in with no Jenny, he's not much of a protection animal. And he's more likely to kill your goats than the coyotes are. We used to, how many billies did Jack kill? Jack would kill my old donkey would kill my billy right constantly. Charlie Robertson, glad to have you. Every once in a while, he just go on a killing spree and kill 2
Are
or 3.
you jealous? Huh? Samson's got this thing where he takes his nose and he means you're going to
Red
pet him.
Tractors, where are you? Where are you at? Yeah, we've had trouble with them trying to breed the cows, causing problems. We've had them kill calves. I believe that, Andy. I can believe you got to have the right one. That makes perfectly good sense. But the truth is, as long as old Samson here, come on,
I don't know if
come on,
space.
come here. He don't like to be on camera. He's camera shy. Come on, come on. Any other time he'd do it or die. Most of y'all seen him anyway. As long as old Samson was not 100 years old. Come on, come on, come on.
There you go.
As long as old Samson here won 105 in dog years, we don't have any trouble with anything. 2-legged or 4-legged.
Come here. This is
Not much, Charlie. Oh, Red, you talking about here? Granville County here?
This is Samson's son. He is training to
Hey,
be Nick
preacher.
Samson.
Red Tractors, I didn't realize you were in Granville County.
How far is that from here?
Up with Grandmama's son. Close to it. He's got some bird dog in him.
He's got Samson, and he found him a lab pointer mix girlfriend.
Hey, Michael. I'll speak to Michael.
Oh.
Charlie, I don't have a whole lot of experience in pot bellies. We tried Julienne
He
pigs
said
one
brother
time.
or sister.
Huh? What?
Somebody said brother or sister.
Brother and
Oh.
sister.
Country Homestead preacher said that.
Oh, hey, yeah, I spoke. Preacher, I did speak to you, didn't I? Might be a little further than that. Try.
Oh, he wants to sell his Mahindra.
Preacher, I'm gonna give you my opinion. I will, Midland Hills. Give me just let me tell Preacher something. Preacher, this is my opinion, and you take it what it's worth. This is my opinion. Somebody's been farming a long time. Go buy you a used 10-year-old, 20-year-old, something like a 245 with a loader on it, mass first. You can afford to pay cash money for it probably, and you can keep it fixed.
Geeky. Samson decided he was going to be our dog. Didn't matter what happened.
Charlie, people
and
tell me you can eat them.
He's the best absolute dog we've ever had. Absolute. And that's why we wanted one of his puppies.
And preacher, this is the truth, just the gospel truth. There's nothing wrong with a Ford New Holland. If you can find one of them in the size you want with what you want on it, there's nothing wrong with a John Deere. There's nothing wrong with a Case International. Just, I would steer clear Kubotas. I would steer Yanmars are fine machines, Kubotas are fine machines. But as far as it's cheap to buy, and more importantly, cheap to keep up. Cheap to keep up is super important. That's what you need. It's something you pay cash for. Let me see what Midland Hills, they asked you a question. Midland Hills, you have to worm. Don't let people tell you different. You have to worm them. None of the natural dewormers work, diatomaceous earth, none of that stuff really works. It kind of, so not a LSB bird, that's the same thing as a Ford Boomer. If you can get a really good deal on one, that's, I don't know, they're like a Kia car. All of those, but you need to worm them when you get them, Midden. And then, if they're feeder pigs, you probably won't have to worm them one more time. before you kill them. I'd worm them when you got them, and I'd worm them at about 120 pounds, because at 120 pounds you can still catch them and hold them. You can jam them up against the fence with a panel. And if you send me an email, I'll tell you exactly how to do that. You can make a little catch thing where you wire a panel to the fence and run them in it and squeeze them. And that's right, it's 30 days. You ain't supposed to worm 30 days from slaughter, I think.
They want to know about track.
And Charlie, I'm not sure about eating the pot bellies. I have people tell me they have eaten them and they were fine. I've had people tell me they were too greasy. But I would think that if you trimmed the fat and made them into sausage, you know, I used to make old boars into sausage, and if you put enough sage and pepper in it, you ought to be able to eat it.
We've seen them at the butcher place.
Yeah, we've seen them at the butcher place. So I'm gonna assume you can eat them, but I've always heard it won't the best pork in the world. But if you're gonna make sausage out of the ground pork, who cares? You ain't gonna really be able to tell that much. Yeah, Andy, I'm not a John Deere guy, but there's nothing wrong with them. I make my living working on them. And 801 Power Match, there's 2 or 3 of them in the neighborhood red tractors. They ought to be 120. If you got 40-pound feeder pigs, they ought to be 120 in about 60 days. 70 days at the most, mid and heels, depending on how you feed them. I'm going to have to go back out there in a minute, Mike. I don't know. She's due today. I don't know exactly when she's going to have them. Brian, we try to cut
our... aren't like our dogs. We can tell exactly when the dogs are going to have them. The pigs, they'll surprise us. They'll be a day or 2 off.
I don't know if they're for sale or not, but I always remember I'm the tractor mechanic around here, so I know everybody's got one. Brian, we cut mine in about a month. We went back to the old way of doing it. I used to cut them in 3 days. But the reason I cut mine in about a month is I sell a bunch of boars. So I need to let them get a little size on them so I can tell what needs to stay a boar and what's a meat pig. I can't tell enough about them in a week.
Yeah, we got Houdinis this time around.
Yeah, I ain't never had trouble with it before, but these are slipping through the hog panels.
They open gates. I watched them open the gate earlier today. Just don't let them get it.
I'll keep an eye out for one red tractor. You ain't that far from me if I find one. We're not old Ford country. We got a bunch of 1000 series Fords around here. But yeah, Piglet's gonna get out. I need to warn y'all about it. Piglets, little piglets, they can get out. The hog panel won't hold one in, I'll tell you that. They can fit through the bigger holes, and they can get up and go through them. But there is 1 or 2. One of my neighbors has got one I know he's not running. Because I went and got it running last year, and I think they drove it around the yard twice and put it back under the shelter. Right here where I'm at's international country. If you go east of me, you hit Ferguson country. If you go north of me, you hit White's. If you go west, you hit John Deere's. And if you go south, they'll run anything. That's easy, B-Bird, float sticking. That's normal. In fact, most people have a claw hammer laying everybody gear shift just to do that with. Oh, me and Hills, we're here to answer questions. Mike, my brother had some. I like to mash. We've had trouble with the pellets. The pellets crumble down into too fine a powder. It causes stomach problems in the pigs, like ulcers. But we feed them dry too. I don't know what happens if you wet them. Well, we got a bunch of people here at Red Tractors running whites and Oglers. We had a white tractor dealer down the road and around the corner. And something I figured out, and I've told this, yeah, ulcers, Jay. Here they call it burning their stomach up. That's all it is. It messes up the line of their stomach. If you feed them much milk and eggs, it won't do it. But if you just feed them straight, Angela, we don't have any trouble with Japanese beetles in the crops. We have trouble with Japanese beetles on fruit trees, and for that we use Bifin. Brand name. It's the same thing people spray for fire ants. And it's pretty safe on the fruit tree. It's not anything. On a crop, I would try ambush or permup since they're labeled organic first, and if that didn't work,
we have stink bugs instead of beetles.
You can use Bifin. You can use Bifin on about anything in the garden too, as long as you wash it or let it rain on it really good. I don't know. Will 7 dust kill a Japanese beetle? I don't think I've ever had any luck killing them. Them stink bugs what's killing everything down here. They're getting on everything. And ain't nothing you do about them so spray for them. They ain't nothing seems to touch them. That ambush won't even deter them. I mean, it'll take care of squash bugs and aphids and about anything else, but it won't do anything at all for a doggone stink bug. Yeah, that's all we used to use too, red tractors for 7 dust. And I like a dust because I feel pretty confident you're washing the dust off. I feel like you're getting rid of it. Yeah, red tractors, you can't do much squashing them stink bugs. They come in the thousands. Milton Hills, this is just a touch complicated. If you've ever messed with your potatoes much, you know when they get some age on them, they'll turn green, like under the skin. There'll be a layer of green. Whatever's in that layer of green is toxic to pigs. So as long as they're not turning green, you're okay. It's kind of like feeding sweet potatoes to cows. As long as they're not moldy, you're fine. But if they're moldy, they'll kill them. So we advise everybody not to feed sweet potatoes at all because you're not going to check them that good. You might get some moldy ones, and one cow eat 2 moldy ones and kill them. But yes, the green part on the potatoes is toxic to pigs. But that's the only part that is, and you'd have to feed them, I don't know, a lot. Hey, Homesteading Pastor. Preacher, we're getting a 5-gallon bucket of squash and a 5-gallon bucket of cucumbers a day. We didn't plant any zucchini this year. I think Trevor might have one hill in his little raised bed, maybe.
Bye, Thrifty.
Oh, good night, Thrifty. In the old days, they used to feed pigs just potatoes. I mean, that was, I think when they first started growing potatoes in Europe, they were mainly using pig food. So they can't eat them. There ain't no reason they can't eat them, but that little green part is toxic. So I think a lot of times they just recommend you don't feed them at all, but you can get away with it as long as they're not too old. Dee's
Aww.
got to get the kittens to snack.
I saw that.
We're going to do a hog economics video because of something Mike told me. Mike told me somebody was getting at, that's Kincaid Farms, was getting on him telling him they were making $1,000 a pig. And I don't get what y'all think about this. But they've been telling him they make $1,000 a feeder pig or something. And telling him he ain't doing it right and this, that, and the other. Kind of making him disheartened a little bit. But I think I can get about as good a price for my pigs as anybody, especially around here. And Brian, it's an excellent feed, but yeah, that's what I think too, Mike. But I found out something the other day. I think we talked about it last live. There's something y'all remind me about this. I didn't know nothing about this. I never heard it. We fed mash, leftover mash, and making whiskey. We fed it to pigs since time began. Never had a problem with it. But Happy Quiet Farms was telling me there was some kind of hops they use making beer grain that would mess a pig and livestock up. And I don't remember exactly what it was.
From the stronger beer, the ice beer.
Yeah, it was a IPC. I don't remember what it was, but it was something. So if it's whiskey grain, I can't picture where you'd have a problem, Brian. But if it's that beer grain, I think that's right, Jay. But Michael, you talk to Mike and you tell him, because you've been doing this a long time. You sell a lot of pigs. Anybody telling you that, it's either screwing somebody horribly or just flat lying, or they may not be able to decipher. I figured out a lot of you misinformation where people talk about making money homesteading is they just can't add and subtract. They don't understand the difference between profit and gross and maybe, Travis, maybe. But I was sitting here trying to figure it out today what we made on some pigs we sold. Now I sold some pork basically. Well, I sold the pig on the hoof and that we had them processed. People can go pick it up and process. That's the way you have to do it for it to be legal here. But I sold these pigs for $4 a pound dressed. That's dressed and processed. And that sounds like a lot of money on a 300-pound pig. I sell some of mine for $85, Mike. I sell anything that's just a meat pig for $80 or $85. That's exactly right. And that's about $15, $20 more than most people get for them. But my pigs are proven. People know they'll grow. Most of my customers are repeat customers that won't buy a pig from anybody else because they know they're not going to get a bad pig from me. And if I sell you a bad pig and it's established it was just a bad pig, I'll give you another one. You know, I ain't going to have my name on something that ain't worth 5 cents. And I'll get rid of a boar, or I'll get rid of a sow. I need to check into that, Jay. Because I've been looking at calcium supplement. I've been using milk replacer, but I need to find a calcium supplement for my sows. Well, we get 200 and 250. We're on about the same line, Mike. For a good, breeding stock boar or sow. Piglet.
Kittens are happy again.
But I was sitting there figuring it up. Mike, let me tell you. I figured it up on 2 pigs. On 2 pigs, I'm going to bring in $1,031, and I'm only going to clear $731. That's on 2 tops. That's the best, and that's probably the best I've ever done on top hog. Now I've sold some show stock and made a little money on it, and I've sold some breeding stock that I have less in as far as feed and stuff that I might have. No, that's most I ever made on them. I'll tell you. So if somebody's making $1,000 a pig, I don't know how they're doing it, because that's me making my own feed. And not figuring anything in on facilities. That was figuring in the fuel to haul them back and forth. And the feed to feed them. Hey, Happy Quack. But that won't figure in fencing and trailers and the truck to pull the trailer. If you had to buy a truck to pull, just to pull your horse around with you, that won't figure in everything. So I figured the maths off, and I just want to see what y'all think about it. When you see these people that's made $40,000 off 10 ducks, here, let everybody kind of be sociable. Let me stand up for a minute. Keep me apprised of the comment.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that Kincaid has a Facebook.
He does. We're friends.
Yeah.
Oh.
Andy, let's see here. Wait, hold on, I got to read over here because his stuff's all screwed up over there. Alright. Andy said selling a pack at a time. Only way, even if possible, farmers market are selling sausages $9 a pound.
Yeah, but it don't bring that much here, and here it's illegal to do that unless you have a license. You have to have a license and a storefront and all kinds of mess. And that boy that's telling Mike that mess is he's from North Carolina.
Well, does he have a
I
storefront?
don't know who he is, but
Well, there's a place down in.
you know Griffin that comes over, old man Griffin, my cousin? He tried that. He built a butcher shop, and he was raising the pigs over here and selling pork over here, and he couldn't do that. He went out of business.
Well, I was going to say there was a place in Kinston, right, as you going into Kinston, that they didn't stay open very long.
Yeah, you can't do it. There ain't nobody to buy. When pork's $3 a pound at Food Line, they ain't paying $9. Not around here.
Yeah.
There ain't enough people that are that interested in the high quality product.
Hey Travis, how you doing? I've been here the whole time. Just with the tablet, it's hard to get us both in it. And the way it sits at an angle. So, anyway, they said that we would have to have a building to keep the pork in by itself, like a little store. It cannot be connected to the house.
Can't have a dog.
Can't have dogs in the house. Can't have dogs in the store. They said that we had to have a little building that couldn't be connected to the house. Had to be sitting by itself.
The biggest thing is you got to have a refrigerated truck haul around it.
Yeah, refrigerated truck. Which the refrigerated truck, if we had a storefront, wouldn't we get past that?
No, you got to have a refrigerated truck to transport from the butcher to the store.
Oh. Okay.
And a generator and a freezer don't matter.
Ice while you're up. Just a few pieces.
See, that's the other thing we keep seeing on YouTube. We keep seeing all these people telling you to do stuff against the law. I just love that.
Yeah, somebody in North Carolina talked about selling milk, and that's a big no-no because it has to be pasteurized to sell it. So you can't just sell raw milk straight from your cow. It has, by law, it has to be pasteurized in North Carolina.
Now you can sell it later as animal feed, but if it's known to you they're gonna drink it, you're breaking it all in.
Yeah, I mean, for you to sell it for human consumption, it has to be pasteurized.
And if you know they're gonna drink it, it's for human. It don't matter what you put on the label.
Yeah.
How do we know that, Pumpkin? How do we know that?
Yeah, well, we've run into that whole situation ourselves. But, every state is different.
Have y'all ever heard of a cease and desist order?
Yeah.
That's a fancy way of saying y'all quit, don't ever do it again.
Or you go to jail. Or you get big fines. There's a whole long list of things they can do for you.
They accused me one time of letting people dress goats here. Which you would think that wouldn't be a problem, right? Just let your buddy dress a goat at your place. They took a soil sample underneath my deer skin and shed and were going to test it for goat DNA.
Now, hey Nigel Jackson, somebody snuck in and didn't see him. Kind of got off the comments here. Okay. Way off the comments.
Oh.
You did find it. Oh, they're talking about the Facebook. Give me a minute.
Hey, Nigel, I
Jay
stepped away.
said that it's legal to sell even at a farmer's market so long as it goes to the USDA slaughterhouse and has an inspection
Night, red
tag
tractor.
on it when it leaves. Um,
The what now?
Jay said that here it's legal to sell even at farmer's market so long as it goes to a USDA slaughterhouse and has an inspection tag on it when it leaves. Michael said.
Hey, Dino.
Mike said all these pulled together farrowing have lay in the fields and I wish I could pick them up. Oh, red
Yeah,
tractors.
Ben Hills, that's a
Red
very
tractors went to
realistic
bed.
goal. That's a very realistic. And the other thing people don't realize is the quality of meat and the quality of what you got is so much better. I tell people all the time, it ain't the farmer that screws up your food, it's the packing plant. Because even if you go buy apple, it's been dipped in preservatives and wax.
Well, look at Happy Quacks. She said that she gets asked all the time about goat's milk. She's like, no, that's illegal.
Well, we used to own a dairy. So, I mean a real dairy, a big dairy.
And Nigel Jackson, tell him the things because he's a first-time chatter. Sorry, Nigel, I just got to your comment. Kind of got off the comments for a minute there.
Mike, don't let the
And
negative
Wallace, buying land in Wallace, North Carolina.
Oh.
Making it to pasture cows and horses.
Oh, just make sure about your zoning stuff and
First-time chatter, long-time watcher.
And kind of get you know your neighbors a little bit, and try to do everything the best you can when you do it. Try to put up good fences and kind of pay attention to your laws. Find out what you can do and what you can't do. But Wallace, you should be pretty safe in Wallace because you're not very far from me at all in Wallace. You're right down the road. You're in a pretty lenient area, very agricultural area. But I think you're thinking right, Ben Hills, and Mike, man, just don't let the people get to you. Most of them don't know what they're talking about. We went through the exact same thing. The exact same thing.
Dino L. Hybrid. Hey.
What?
Dino L. Hybrid?
Yeah, Dino's been up here many times.
Yeah.
I said I go to Dino, I think.
Well, I was just catching people who had snuck in and I didn't
And there was somebody else I needed to. Oh, Jay, here you can, you got to have a meat handler's license, you got to have a refrigerator truck, several things. You can label raw milk as animal feed, but if you know they're drinking it, that don't count. How that works, I don't know. You can't, I can't sell you a sheep or a goat and let you butcher it on my property. I don't know why that would be. The biggest thing is if you ever mess up and you're doing a little better than everybody else, if you're selling goats when they're not, or you're doing this and you're not, they're going to call somebody and tell them. That's just the way that works. And if you're like me and don't know when to shut up and really don't like the government having anything to do with your stuff, and you smart off at them or maybe threaten them just a little bit, they tend to try to make an example out of you. If you want me to be really honest. Because I'm the fool that'll say, what you think you're going to do about it? Or what you going to do to stop me? Or you in what army? Or, whatever.
Yeah, and the one who enforces the tags on pigs is the game warden.
Yeah.
He likes to make the game warden mad on purpose, I think.
Well, I'm just not a big fan of government interference. When I call them, they never help me. When somebody stole my pigs, they want Johnny on the spot. I said, this is who stole them, this is where they at, blah, 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 blah. They didn't go down there, right?
Chuck Russell says that you sound like him.
Well, I don't know when to shut up. I ain't got a clue. I have never been good at knowing when to shut up.
Yeah.
Somebody was talking about farm tags the other day. I said, it's $1,200 fine for misuse of a farm vehicle. And they were like, how you know that? I said, well, you pull a boat there with aisle, and you're in the fast lane because you got to make a turn, you're holding everybody up, and you get pulled over. And then when the cop walks up to the truck and says, what kind of farm are y'all doing in Emerald Isle with a boat behind the truck? And you ask him, you damn fool, ain't you never heard of agriculture? You get a $1,200 ticket. True story. Good night, Charlie. We're glad to have you.
Good night.
But I'm not a big fan of somebody telling me what I can and can't do on my own. And it'll get you in trouble. You think the older I get, hell, as old as I am, you think I know how to shut up by now, but I don't. I don't. I ain't got a clue.
Where is the puppy?
Probably behind this. Yep.
Okay. He's just very quiet.
Yeah, he's up to something. Oh. This is a pretty good size puppy to be older. Yeah, I had somebody make a comment.
He'll be 8 weeks old tomorrow. And
Had somebody,
10 pounds.
Mike, I'll tell you this, might make you feel better. They don't worry us bad as they used to, but I had somebody really try to preach to me the other week. They were telling me, well, you didn't raise cats or dogs for food. Now, he's pretty safe, I ain't gonna lie to you. But if things got bad, the cat be the first thing to go, I ain't gonna lie to you. Well, see, I ain't smart enough to do that, Geeky. I ain't smart enough to talk like I got some sense. I'm just ready to go to whooping people and shooting at folks and mess like that, and it don't work out for me. Well, when I told her that my family grew up during the Depression, and Bobcat and Fox was on the menu 2 days a week, so it probably wouldn't be a big stretch. Well, I know how hard it is to do all that, which we didn't have to worry enough today. God warded it for us. But I know how hard it is to try to get up here, get all that done to get up here. That's the reason we miss them sometimes and got to go up late. But don't let it bother you, Mike. Ain't nothing you do with them. You know, we started this whole channel. You know, Geeky, I used to catch wild rabbits to sell when I was young, and they always wanted to feed their phone and ask my daddy because people used to sell cats for rabbits. And they are down here, Nigel. They are, and they're really bad around fruit trees. We've lost several fruit trees to termites in the roots.
We lost it.
Yeah, we lost a
50-year-old dogwood tree to termites. Ate the tree from the inside out.
Yeah, they ate the tree from the inside out. Well, I mean, it died and they ate it, but they weren't finished
right
it
before we
off.
started filming.
Yeah, Chuck, that's kind of the way. Well, you gotta hate know I had to eat a cat, but if I was hungry, I would. You know. Andy, I try to be there when they have them. No, honestly, most of the time I don't have any problems. The truth is, you either have a smooth birth or most likely a dead sow. Because like me, my hands won't fit up in one. The forceps are hit and miss. And
120 degrees.
yeah, we were 91 and about 100% humidity.
I would truly melt. I mean, completely just.
Nigel, my advice would be talk to somebody that's already got the orchard and find out what they were doing right in your area.
How do your animals handle that? Because I take him to the garden on hot days. He comes in, acts like he's dying.
Well, you remember the rabbits? We used to have to put frozen 2-liter bottles into the rabbits, keep them off. Yeah, Jay, Darlene can't do it, you know. When I was a little boy, I had to do it, though. Yeah, that's about right, Andy. Most time I can deal with a calf, as long as the cow's big enough to have him. I can cut him out or do something, but a lot of times people won't call me if it was too late. Calf's already been there 2 days, half rotten. You can't do nothing to save the cow.
Geeky, we did too. Elsa took out a limb about this big right beside the
I
porch.
don't know how. The wind blew by like that fan's blowing.
Yeah, but it fell. It sure did.
Yeah, I have a quack. It's been miserable here. Jim, I'd mix up some Roundup and some
Don't
2,4-D.
fight me.
And you can burn them. I mean, that's what we used to do back in the old days. We'd burn them out. Catch a good dry spell. But when you burn them out, they come back thicker now. Remember that. Fire's fertilizer. That's why they used to burn the woods off. They'd burn the woods off and get rid of the underbrush, make trees jump. I want y'all to know this puppy has doubled in size in a week. I mean, completely doubled in size.
Sunday. He'll be 8 weeks old Sunday.
Yeah, he'll be 8 weeks old Sunday. That's you.
Look,
That's you.
Look, see, puppy?
Can you see two-dimensional? Can dogs see TVs? I've always been told they couldn't, but...
Samson will grow up to you every once in a while.
Yeah. I don't know if he's hearing something or seeing something. We're dog people. We can't help it. Yeah, he's healthy. He's probably going to be just as useless. He's a vicious little scoundrel today. He growls and snarls at everything and everybody.
Y'all should hear him get upset and bark. Oh my God. Which I told him he was training to be a guard dog, so.
You know, Minnie, give me just a second. I'm going to get back to that.
What now?
Pig starter, I don't know what it is a ton. We buy a 50-pound bag. It's about $13.50. If we had to buy it, if I have to make it, it costs me about 20 cents more a bag than the Mitten Hills. We talked about this a lot. I think they try to make it sound easy. People have a fairy tale that they think it's a 30-minute a day deal that you can still go on vacations and do whatever you want to and leave it, and we just ain't found that to be true. You want a catastrophe, leave home for about 2 days. Leave home for a day. Leave somebody else looking after your stuff for about 3 days. You'll come home to a catastrophe every time, no matter who you got doing it. And that's the way it is here too, man. I work all day fixing equipment, welding, and you know, and on an average day, just an average day when the gardens aren't an issue, as far as taking care of livestock, you can figure on about an hour a day. That's just taking care of livestock. And then when the garden's in, you can figure on, you know, even just harvesting, you can figure on an hour a day picking everything, and if you put stuff up, you can figure on 4 or 5 hours a week putting stuff up or more. When corn comes in, it all comes in at the same time. You got to put it up over 2 days, over a weekend most of the time, work your fool self to death. And people don't understand what that there's, you know, 3 meals a day, 365 days a year. And a lot of these people that are talking about homesteading, how easy it is, and they got 2 little raised beds and a potbelly pig or whatever, they're not really feeding themselves. They're just not doing it. They're eating out in a bag 2 meals a day, or 3 most days, and they're just not doing it. They're not producing as much. That's right, Jim. That's exactly right. That's right. It's 1,000 meals a year. And depending on how many people you feed, you know, I just love it when people are raising 20 chickens. They're talking about raising their chicken for the year. Hey, King Scooby. We go through 6 pigs a year. 6. We go through a whole steer. Well, you know, Midden, you better off go ahead and do it as good as you can to start with. And seeing something that works, like I tell Mike all the time, Kincaid, you know, I'm trying to help him get started with pigs, but I don't know nothing about snow. I don't know how to deal with snow. And we're at about 100% of our meat, Andy. But we're not at 100% of everything. And Michael, you might can help Mike with snow, telling him about snow, what you have to do in the snow. Because I don't know nothing about snow. We get snow here last 4 hours. Thanks, King Scoop. And you know, there's some things we do that are different that people talk junk about. But our goal is to feed ourselves. I don't raise meat chickens. I raise puppets. Puppets sell really good here, $15, $20 a piece in the spring. So we raise puppets, we sell puppets and buy chicken. Because we can sell one puppet for enough to buy 3 or 4 chickens. That's about the way we look at it, Geeky. What we can do, I'm going to be honest with you, Amber, we could probably do, we might could do, I want to make sure I don't tell you wrong, we could probably do 70% of our total food. But there's some things that we can't handle. We can't grow salt. We can't grow rice. We can't store potatoes and root vegetables unless you can them all year. And then some things, I need to do a video talking about picking your battles. Like garden peas are 2 cans for $1 versus trying to grow them and can them. So I can't really tell a whole lot of difference between canned garden peas and fresh garden peas. In fact, I've eaten canned garden peas my whole life, so I might actually like them better, more used to them. And butter beans, frozen butter beans from the grocery store taste just as good as my frozen butter beans. But string beans and a few other things, they're just not as good. And we just buy them. We have to buy sugar, we have to buy salt, we have to buy flour, we have to, I guess I could technically make my own cornmeal, but we buy cornmeal. We buy grits, peanut butter, we buy crackers, we buy loaf bread. I mean, there's things that we just, I don't have a clue how you start about making a cracker. Not really. I know how to take a tortilla and make chips out of it, but I don't know how to make crackers. And I could probably figure out how to make my own peanut butter, but I swear I'd hate to have to grow 4 rows of peanuts to make 3 jars of peanut butter a year.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some things you're just not going to, I mean, you grow enough food to live. I mean, if they want nothing to eat, we grow enough food to live. Yeah, we're in a soda cracker land, Geeky. I mean, people here eat, your power went out, Mike. Are y'all having a storm there too?
We had a really nasty one earlier.
That's what we do too, Jim. That's a good idea, Amber. Midden, I don't like the little cows. But the reason I don't like the little cows may not affect you. I don't like them because they have no market value here. So if you have any extras, you can't really get rid of them. They were a fad here, I don't know, 10 years ago. And a lot of people got them. And, any fad livestock's like a pyramid scheme. If you're the first one to get them, that's a good idea, Amber. But if you're the first one to get a fad breed, you usually do pretty good because it's the next big thing. Everybody's wanting breeding stock. But after everybody gets what they want, kind of figure out they don't grow fast enough or they don't have a market, that they kind of fade out, and it's just a bad deal. If you're going to buy a couple and feed them out for steers, I think they might be okay. Cause I think as far north as you are, Highlands are pretty popular. That's right, Geeky. That's what I tell people all the time. If you can't do nothing but a few little, like them cut off barrels we do, you can go get you tomato that tastes good. And there is a world of difference between that tomato you bought from the grocery store that got ripe on the truck on the way here from Mexico and one that got ripe on that vine, ain't it? I mean, it's just the ones that don't have no taste at all. Even an egg, a store-bought egg, just don't have any taste. But like I was talking about a while ago, me being used to canned from the grocery store garden peas, there's a lot of people who are used to that. There's a lot of people, if you give them a homegrown egg, don't like it. A lot of people don't like a homegrown chicken. Do not like the taste of a homegrown chicken and how dark the dark meat is. Off a bird that you took from, you popped his head off with a 22 rifle and was running around the woods out there by half wild. There's a lot of people don't like it. But I have yet to find anybody that like homegrown pork, on the ground pork better than store-bought. But y'all are right. When you start figuring on actually feeding yourself, like the old people had to do. What people had to do here as late as 1960. When you had to grow your own food, you probably went hungry. Because I've heard my daddy talk many a day about
Jim Knowlton.
Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. I went somewhere the other month and got a sausage dog because I was hungry and I was at a store, had a little grill in it, and I got a sausage dog and got back in the truck and took a bite out of it and laid it in the seat and gave it to Samson when I got home. I couldn't eat the mess. The texture won't the same. It won't. Well, that's why I say in Midland Hills, we don't raise any meat chickens. We raise egg breeds like Rhode Island Reds and sell to hens, pullets, and then go buy a chicken. Trevor raised some Cornish crosses last year, but they got so big so fast it broke their legs and went to dying. And traditionally, Midden, what my daddy did when we were raising our own chicken, when we were, if we ate chicken, we grew it. And that's the way it was my whole, till I was, grown and married.
Geeky, he loves stuffed peppers.
But what my daddy would do was go to the hatchery. We had a hatchery here that hatched chickens for the egg houses. And they would give him the laying hen roosters, white leghorn roosters. And that's what we always raised. Hey, Osmond. That's what we always raised, men, for meat was white leghorn roosters. And they grew reasonably quickly, about 3 or 4 months. You'd have them fryer size. And, back then, things were different. I'd go help you dress your chickens, you come help me dress mine. But nowadays, you just don't have enough labor to get there and dress 200 chickens at a time. That's not a bad idea, being the hills, slowing them down. Well, we're pretty lucky, Jim. We're satisfied with our packer this season. You just better not mess up and tell them you want it hot. If you tell them you want it real hot, you can't eat it.
I really don't know if he actually measured it or just basically throws in handfuls.
I don't think they measure anything, really. It ain't never the same. But it ain't never exactly the same. It's close, but
sometimes his helpers, I think, get carried away.
But like we were doing with the chicken, sometimes you got to think outside the box if your goal is to feed yourself.
Is it for?
Yeah, that's what I grew up doing, ours. Our chickens had some amount of natural selection going on because the only time you ever shut them up was at night. You had a coop. In fact, I still got that old chicken coop. It's the cow barn now, but we moved it up here. Daddy moved it up here on a old livestock trailer, took the racks off of it, and made a homeower shed out of it. And then when I got older, I made a horse barn out of it, and it's the cow barn now.
Yeah.
She feeds my hand as much as I do.
Well, the only problem is that they put their heads in the way, but we don't have much waste anymore.
You know, Osborne, we used to do that with the game chickens. We had the exact same for years and years and years. We had game chickens running around, and all they got was the scraps from the hogs.
And it was a Easter egg hunt, finding eggs everywhere.
And they would sit and they'd hatch eggs in every old tire laying around and every cubby hole and corner.
Underneath the toolbox in the truck.
That's what
He's had to chase many of them out of the back of his truck.
Yeah, I've had them have a nest in the back of it, especially when you didn't drive every day. I've been going down the road 50 mile an hour and had a chicken on the toolbox cackling. Yeah, we put top hogs on a feeder sometimes, Jay. If I'm feeding out 10 or 12, I put them on a feeder. If I'm feeding out 2, I'll feed them with a bucket.
It's just having to tote that much feed.
Well, you know, when you got 2 or 3 tops, they're getting a 5-gallon bucket at the time and get hard on her, you know.
Got to where I use the vehicle now to.
But I am not going to put breeding stock on a feeder.
It's heavy. It gets heavy.
Well, we got a side-by-side, and wagons, and trucks, and everything. Ain't no need never tote no feed, not for far.
We got a wagon that the wheels won't turn all of a sudden. I think the axle's broke or bent or something.
Their tires are flat.
Is that what was wrong with it?
Yeah.
It was in the middle of the night when the chupacabra attacked the chickens the other night. We put them in the wagon, and I was pulling the wagon, and the wheels would not roll.
I think so. I get $80 a piece for, well, mine are at least 6 weeks old, so those are 8 weeks old, and I get $80 for the meat pigs. Now, we get way more than that for breeding stock, though. So, yeah, I mean, I get $150 for breeding guilt. Oh, Amber had some pivots out for wattle spots.
That wattle don't bother you?
Like a goat to me.
It's just weird to me. I don't like it. I don't know.
Well, mid hills, I figure if you can get over 50%, you probably, in today's modern times, you're probably doing pretty good. Oh, if you're buying them, that was a great price. If you're selling them, no, I go up. Look too much like a goat to suit me, Amber. Goats are supposed to have little wattles, not pigs. I don't know about the market where you're at, Osborne, but $2 a pound. If I think they weigh 40 pounds, I'm going to ask $80 for a meat pig. Now, breeding gilt, they vary. I mean, one is, you know, you always going to have 1 or 2 in the litter that are real good. I try to get a price for them. And then the ones that are kind of mediocre, they can go for meat pigs for $80 or, you know, whatever. But I try to pick out a couple of really good boars.
How many at 7 weeks?
For, you know, a boar price, and I cut all the rest of the boys, and I'll try to pick out the absolute best couple, 3 gilts, and they're going to be the breeding stock, and everything else can go for a meat price. But they've got to be a good piglet to sell for breeding. But I asked, they're the best that I got, so I asked a price for them. And anything that's just a meat pig is just a meat pig. And if we get something in there to show quality, it's actually show quality, the price goes up on that too. If it's show season, it's time for people to buy show stock. Well, Osborne, I might have a solution for that. Johnny Sharp's up there close to you. Well, he's in Kernersville. And, of course, he's got my bloodline. He's got the D-Rock Cross. He got his stock from me, but he's up there in Kernersville. Wilkes County. Yeah, we sell, believe it or not, Osborne, we sell a bunch of pigs to Greensboro, Kernersville. I mean, a bunch of pigs. There's a bunch of people come down from Kernersville and buy pigs from us. And that may be, honestly, because we got some family up that way, and they've probably passed around the YouTube channel. People might see them on YouTube. But you got to remember down here, Osborne, Berkshires have such a bad reputation, they don't sell good, you know. But you got everybody that grows with the co-op raising Berks talking junk about them the whole time. Every time they go to the store or anywhere else, they're, why they make us have Berkshires, and that's not really helping, whether it's true or not, you know. Well, Jay, the show pigs what put us on the map. Osborne, I should have some. I got a full-blooded sow in with a full-blooded boar right now. Which there's a lot of demand for them. I don't know how many she'll have. It's probably the last litter she's ever going to have. But she's a good stock, old type stock Duroc sow. And the boar is I don't know, more modern show pig. I'm not exactly tickled with him, but he's registered and he's the best I could get. Well, show anything and natural breed, anything are two different breeds, and you buy it happy quiet. See, my pigs aren't show stock. They're just really, really good looking old fashioned hogs. And since these little small shows, 4-8 shows, and FFA shows are judged by some 80-year-old farmer, they like them. But they're not show stock. My pigs are not show stock. They're old-timey hogs that just happen to win some shows because old men are the judges. But Duroc and Hamp's always been king. Yeah, Michael, I ain't never been too impressed with show stock. And I didn't want a show stock boar, but he was the only doggone registered boar I could find that actually had papers, and, you know. But I'd whole lot rather have a grade or high percentage Duroc. I'd take a 98 or 90% Duroc that looked right over him any day of the week. And if he'll get this sow bred where I can save me some full-blooded gilts, I'm going to get rid of him and get me a half. I might give him to Mike if he comes down here. I mean, he's a pretty boy, and I ain't no doubt he wouldn't have done great in the show, but I just don't like his build. He's too blocky. I just don't like him. Yeah, it looks like a tank. It looks like a cement block with feet. I mean, he's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's all buffed out. He ain't got an ounce of fat on him, and yeah, I don't like it, Michael. He didn't look like that as a pig, but he didn't start looking like that until he got grown. He's actually a pretty decent looking piglet. But I have found that once you cross that, especially like he's bred in this mixed up spotted gilt, they won't have that. That's right, Brian. It's a modern show pig. But I don't like it. And if I was judging the show, he wouldn't win. And that's something else too. Like she's talking about sweet personality. We breed for temperament too. I take temperament into a lot of consideration. Well, Michael, he's a boar. We'll see what the pigs look like. That's about the best we can do. And Jay, like I said, it was just, he's going to get replaced. I can go ahead and tell that.
But his temperament is good because he's kind of like Ferdinand the pig instead of Ferdinand the cow.
Well, Osborne, I didn't get a chance to. This pig was imported from out of state, and it was him and 3 other boars that all come from the same place. In fact, I know the people that bought the other 2, and a couple of gilts. The gilts don't look like that boar, though. The gilts are actually pretty decent. That's exactly right, Midden. That's exactly right. How many times have I told y'all exactly that? Don't focus on the breed. Focus on how fast they will grow. Convert feed, because on a meat pig, all you want to do is turn corn into pork. That's exactly right, Midden. And yes, Osborne, I look at the parents, but I don't buy much breeding stock. The only breeding stock I ever buy is a boar. Yeah, I saw it. I saw you. I wish I was there to help you, Mike, because I could knock that thing right out. But Midden Hills, that's what you go with an actual heritage breed. You know, not something somebody said was a heritage breed like a guinea hog or a coon coon, but an actual heritage breed like a Tannersworth. Tannersworth's one of the oldest hog breeds in the world. But go with an actual heritage breed, something that'll grow, that they've had hundreds of years getting them to grow. Well, that's good to hear off a mule foot, Mike. We didn't have much luck with them things. But, like we talked about before, you don't know that your mule foots are not our mule foots. They could be 2 different people.
Well, it's about like, the one that we had, the boar that we had before, the other Duroc, the full-blooded Duroc boar. He was ill-natured. He was.
He won't ill-natured. He won't his fault. He's ill-natured.
It wasn't his fault.
No, Jake's fault. He's ill-natured.
No, I'm talking about the one that you borrowed.
Oh, yeah. He was ill.
Yeah.
He was.
But the one that we have now, the puppy got in the pen. We'd only had him like 2 days. He's 5 weeks old, and I just knew he was gonna kill him. I just knew he was gonna kill him and eat him before I could get him out. And he just looked at him like, "Hey, what are you doing in here?" And went on his merry little way. Was trying to get him. He had messed up one of his feeders. It's like a trough that Chris makes, and they can flip them up because he puts them on with what do you call them, clefts?
Crevices or shackles.
Crevices or shackles, and so they're easy to clean out. Well, they figured out that they can flip them, but they'll get hung up on the fence. So I was trying to get it unhung, and you don't want to stick your hand in there with a boar because there's a high chance of them biting you. So I fed him dandelions. He was happy as he could be. He ate dandelions, didn't pay me no mind, didn't come over there and mess with me, didn't bother me at all. My hands in the pen and everything. No, I don't go in the pen without Chris being around. Not with a boar anyway. But he's really good natured. I haven't had any problems with him. Now the one that we borrowed to get, he was so ill, you couldn't walk by the pen without him growling at you, and I'd never heard a pig growl like that before. He growled like a dog. I mean, scary. He was not a happy camper at all. Oh, wait a minute, somebody's going tonight. Jay Baker went tonight.
Well, we're going to be out finished anyway. Good night, Jay.
Jelly beans?
You know, Osborne, that's the way people are.
Yeah, and he would bark too. He would growl and bark.
That sounds like that's probably a really, really good cross, mid. Tamsworth and Hamp is a really good cross.
Chris gets them to do that too.
And we can't sell white ones here either.
He gets them tame enough that he can rub their bellies.
I've had some that are part spot, and Happy Quack has got some Gloucesters. Yeah, good temperament's important, Warren. Yeah, Osborne, I've made a video hypnotizing. You rub the stomach on mine, they'll pass out.
Hey, Stephanie.
Mike, people tell me they're up there, that they're in your neck of the woods.
Guess he just hadn't looked in the right.
Hey, Stephanie. I know the feeling, Amber. Jim and Amber. I remember we didn't have nothing. We had some good hogs. We had some good bred Duroc hogs, but we didn't have no gas. We didn't have nothing else.
Simply Southern Roots. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Simply Southern.
Amber, did you ever get that water solution that you were talking about? I forgot what it was called. They were going to do some kind of filtering, trying to get where they could have water.
I don't know either, Amber.
It's a while back. I thought you were talking about some kind of filtering system for your water.
They're high and dry, baby.
No, didn't work out.
They got no agua on the premises. They got a truck in.
Mm-hmm.
On a truck, like a good old truck, like, every time we get water.
I was thinking their water was contaminated. Michael said he has a perfect mule-foot Hampshire boar. Stephanie was porchside watching the lightning up north and all the fireflies in the old sycamore tree. Oh, that sounds nice. Oh, filtering system. Didn't you say that you, there was, be right back. This rain is affecting the knee.
I really want to find the SBC bowl. If there is such a thing left in the universe. I'm gonna get a Hamp bowl. I may actually get a Hamp do-right crossing. I know where I can get one in.
About like dogs. You like this and that dog, you like this and that dog, so you cross them together.
I like crosses too, Michael. I have much better luck with them. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Anything full blood is hard to raise. You ain't got that hybrid vigor.
Spicy skins.
We got some killed today, Andy, they're $1.20 a pound. She was asking about, y'all ain't got no water. And I think one time we were talking about you were going to try to get a well and a water filtration system, but that fell through, I think. That was it. It's Andy, it's $1.20 a pound. Dressed weight. In fact, I had it right here. I'd have to figure it out, but one pig dressed $2.54 and one pig dressed $2.59 and yeah, but it's $1.20 a pound. I can't read my land right, but it was $1.20 a pound. Well, that's what you're always gonna do. I mean, you're gonna unless you're running straight full blooded, you're gonna cross in this and cross in that, and you're gonna be like me. You're gonna end up with some sows that are 5-6 way crosses, but are doggone good sows and have beautiful pigs.
Just wanna make sure you keep the good ones to do your crossing with. One for the traits that you would like.
That's vacuum sealed too, Andy. A lot of places charge extra for that.
The rain, the weather, it's killing me.
Put that bacon up.
That's not it. Where'd it go?
Now there is a kill fee, but that's included in that $1.20 a pound.
Tell them that cows are different.
No, none of them are originals. Ben Hill's there. Trevor gets me one every year for Christmas. Has ever since he was old enough to buy one. I think I got about all the ones that they're reproductions, but I think I got about all of them 8.
He keeps finding them,
He didn't get me the fire truck one, I don't think.
No.
Yeah, that's a question I don't know the answer to too, Mark.
Sorry. We had bad storms come through here tonight, and they have messed up my knee. I got a bad knee. That makes my knee hurt. Hard to sit still. Starting to sound like Chris, huh? Let's see, comments. Aw, Stephanie's pork rinds are too spicy.
I've got to go check on you.
You want to sum it up?
Well, just let everybody talk amongst yourselves. You gotta be there. I'm gonna check on her.
Show them the chupacabra protection.
Do what now?
Chupacabra
There's
protection.
YouTube. I don't think you're supposed to.
Needless to say, he's taking chupacabra protection. Y'all can hear that.
I don't know if I need protection, but he needs to kill it. So.
And he's makes things dangerous for little ones anyway. No. We don't need a black puppy out there in the middle of the night. He'd be hard to find. And he hasn't quite learned to come yet. He thinks it's a game. He'll come to you just where you can't quite touch him. And then he'll run away. And he'll bounce all around because it's so funny. And then he'll come right back to you where you just can't quite touch him and he'll take off running again. Haven't quite figured that one out yet. How to get him to come. I guess he will when he gets a little bit bigger. Hopefully. He's actually done pretty good, but Samson's helping out a whole lot. Because when he does something that really annoys Samson, he'll get on him and he'll bite at him, but he hasn't hurt him yet. So that's a plus. I think Samson knows he's his shot caller. That might be what I need. Aww. I'm sorry, Geeky. We did earlier. I mean, the whole sky turned black. It was bad. It looked like the sky and the clouds and all were just falling down around us. And it was raining really hard. You couldn't see. But thunder and lightning. But it passed over in about 3 hours. It won't too bad. Yeah. Having animals get somebody else's corn is a bad idea. Definitely. Well, Samson's the best dog. Really is. He'll stand back and let him eat. And he'll sit there and he'll wait his turn. And then when he's decided that he's eaten enough, whether he's done or not, Samson will nip at him, make him go on, then he'll eat. S40 Gallinger, I don't know what that is. Oh, the vacuum sealer? We tried 2 different kinds of vacuum sealer. I wasn't impressed with either one. We take Ziploc bags, get the good quality ones, and run you a tub of water. We've got a great big galvanized tub if we're working outside, and inside we just use the kitchen sink. Make sure that you leave it cracked about so much, seal it up, but leave a little crack where the air can get out. You drop that in the water, push it down, the water pressure will push all the air out. Zip it up, don't let the water get in there, but zip it up before the top part gets in the water, and it vacuum seals it. And if you've got decent Ziploc bags, it'll hold that vacuum seal. You pull it out, wipe it off, wipe all the water off of it, put it in your freezer, it's vacuum sealed. No fancy vacuum sealer needed. And the vacuum sealers were not that big of an investment. They weren't too bad. It was having to buy them stupid bags. And they were aggravating because you had to cut off the ends on both ends. And it's just, It was so much easier to get Ziplocs and put them in water. Try it. You might not like it. You might prefer your vacuum sealer, but that's what we ended up doing. That's what we do now, is the vacuum sealer. And I mean, that's the homemade vacuum sealer. And to me, it's more, I get more bags for my money. It's just one more step, and it's only, I mean, it's just, once you get used to it, it takes about 5 seconds to drop it in. You submerge it completely. You have the top out, zip the top up, pull it back out, and you got a vacuum seal. Really works. I'm not getting any comments on this thing, so I'm having to go back and forth. Yeah, it works it works really good. Well, y'all, good night. I think I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Osborne, are you talking to us or talking to somebody else? Thank you, Midden Hills. Good night, everybody. Osborne, he'll be back in a few minutes if you want to hold up and talk to Chris about it. He might be interested. Good night, Michael. Good night, Warren. Good night, Geeky, and Stephanie, and Andy. I feel like John Boy. Good night, John Boy. Now, if she's having pigs, he might not come back. But there he is. Osborne said something about that he's got some Duroc on the way.
I got some different. He had Durocs on the way.
My dad and I are partners in our hogs. I was going to tell him you got some Durocs on the way. Maybe I could. Oh, you got some Durocs on the way.
Yeah,
maybe I could talk him into one of your gilts.
Yeah, he can probably get one.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. You still there? Good night, Amber. Happy Quack.
Oh, all the way down to the end of the little cow pack.
Well,
There's a deer laying down there. Didn't have enough light.
It was a deer.
Yeah, it was a deer.
So tell Osborne to message you.
Yeah, just email.
Send him an email. Our email is homesteadingherway@gmail.com. And y'all can get together.
I don't think she's gonna have tonight.
No. Well, she was eating pretty good earlier. So.
Well, she's laying down asleep. She'll have to have them first thing in the morning.
Oh, 3 o'clock. 3 a.m. I want to go ahead and warn you, if you don't have pigs yet and you're thinking about getting pigs, they have their babies at 3 a.m.
Just about,
That's just something about it. 3 a.m. is the way to go.
3 days late and 3.
Yep. 3 days late. At least not the day that you predicted them to have it. And at 3 a.m. Here, baby, you can hear.
Oh, well, we're supposed to.
They're working on signing off.
Oh, okay. Well, we're supposed to quit at 11. That ain't bad, Michael. 50 cents a pound. Oh, I'm way behind on comments. Anyway, I appreciate y'all being here. Well, Mike, you can call me as soon as we close this off if you want to. I'll be up for another few minutes. Well, congratulations, Chuck. But anyway, I really appreciate everybody's been here watching us and spending time with us. And y'all remember, you never plow a field but turn it over in your mind. And we really do appreciate you. And we're going to sign off. And Mike, if you want to call me, I'll be up for a few minutes. I'm going to. I can't help it. I'm going to check that gate one more time. And I've made it a mission to get rid of that refusal. So, but anyway, thank y'all again, and we're going to click off.